Happy Wednesday. My mouse is like dying. I couldn't come to you. Happy Wednesday wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. Bo Mo says greetings from Chicagoland. Welcome. I'm using a football theme today as we're talking about pregame. Shout out to my friend and colleague Leslie Allen. She was saying she was pre-gaming it, pre-prepping for Thanksgiving. So that's awesome. And it made me think about that we are in fourth quarter already, and we should talk about a year ahead. We're going to be wrapping this up. I always let people know, listen, you can't get into the new year until you go through me first, meaning my birthday is in December, so you've got to go through me for before you get to the next year. And I felt like it would be timely to talk about pregame, right? So pre-prepping, getting ready for 2023 in relation to what it means to your business. Before I jump into that, I have some announcements to make. I want to, of course, upload this slide. I've got to upload this slide. Just some talking points. Talking points. Again, I've been saying this for most of the year. Write down your real estate goals. Write down those goals. I must say and share that we've executed. So number one, I think in terms of numbers for us, we've done very well. We broke our record, so we had a very great year, and that attributes to goal setting. We set those goals, we executed, stayed committed. I've got two whiteboards here. I have a glass board. I mean, is it still called a whiteboard if it's glass? Mine is glass, thanks to my husband. And then I have one in front of me, and then I've got a cork board here. And then, of course, you see I've got my this customized Monopoly board that reminds me why I do why I do what I do. Advocacy is why. Of course, so make sure you're writing those goals. And I've been saying this at the top of the year, you're going to see that this will change to 2023 as we transition into the next year. Listen, time is going to go by anyway. You might as well write down some stuff and focus on executing it. All right. Before I jump into today's topic, of course, there is a disclaimer that the information provided on this show should not be considered legal or tax advice. Of course, seek reputable licensed professionals. Seek those reputable licensed professionals to help you with your situation. And of course, I want to thank our show sponsor today. Oh my gosh, someone connected with me. We've got to connect. Listen, if you are interested in sponsoring an episode, sponsoring a couple episodes or shows, connect with me, get at me, DM me, send me a message. Of course, you can call me direct 323-488-3265. Let me actually throw that in the chat here. So call, text, direct. What do you mean? Don't give your number away. It's listen, it's fine. I've got mechanisms in place that I don't play. I don't play. So don't play in my phone unless you're serious. Don't I had to have this conversation with someone who was calling me. I think he called me so many times over these past couple of days, and it was like calling and I didn't answer. And then he called back, and it was like 17 phone calls in a very short period of time. And I waited for a while. I took pause, and then I came back and I called him back and I said, listen, you have my direct number, which means it's not an office line. It's not ringing in office. You're not calling my assistant or team or anyone else, the front desk. This goes directly to me, which means, albeit if I'm in family mode, work mode, I may be in doing something, it is completely disrespectful and uncalled for and out of line to call me so many times. I hear the phone ringing, I will call you back. I pride myself on calling back and returning messages. So don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Listen, we do have a policy that if you are actively dealing with the death of a borrower or a homeowner, or you're facing foreclosure, we do have a 24/7 365 policy where we make ourselves available. That's true. Those of you who know of me know you've reached me at some hours, and that's because I'm up. Like I'm up creating stuff, and I'm just up. And I sleep when I sleep. I don't usually have a normal sleep pattern. Like I don't usually go to sleep at a certain time. If I'm tired throughout the day, I will take a nap. I have got great space here in the office, wherever I am. I've got a great space to take a nap when I need to, and then come back and recharge and address. So that's been my own thing. So I will pop it here. You can call, text if you would like to. Why am I giving my number away? Because someone reached out and we had just some hiccups in scheduling, and he was interested in sponsoring an episode. So I just wanted to bring it back to you about collaboration as we're talking about 2023. Listen, if you're a real estate broker, if you're a loan officer, if you're an inspector, if you're a contractor, if you are a wholesaler, a flipper, an author that speaks in the arena of real estate, uh, you get the idea, right? So feel free to reach out. Let's connect 323-488-3265 so that we can get that lined up for 2023. The show's doing well because I'm noticing I'm getting a lot more uh, one sheets from various companies and those who represent, real estate speakers and authors and people who have a value to share. And so I'm getting their one sheets, I'm getting their bios, I'm getting their copies of their books. Thank you, by the way. I love reading. So that's pretty awesome. I get like all these cool freebies and people's books and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So if you're interested in sponsoring, let me know. With that being said, let's be right back after this sponsor break. Thanks, guys.
Do you have properties that need to be maintained? For professional services that guarantee your property will stay safe and secure, Omnis Property is the team you want by your side. As a company, we pride ourselves on our best-in-class professionals, equipped with the latest technology for all your end-to-end property preservation needs. That means that from start to finish, our expert team can handle everything from accurate assessments to preservation projects of all sizes. Save money and time by working with leading experts that understand your needs and are committed to premier service. Get started today by contacting us for your project estimate. Visit www.omnispreservation.com or call 310-957-9132.
We do all of that. So we just need your contact information. All that was customized for that particular company. I've got a new role that we're doing, so you can do pre-roll, mid-roll, and end rolls. We do that for you. We've got a team that we connect, so we just need company information, your contact. If you've got a script that you want to include, we'll send that over to the team, and they will prepare that for you. So you don't takes all that footwork. You don't have to come with a video. We'll create one for you for our radio podcast and show everywhere. Also, yes, announcements. Also, I want to say thank you for your continued love and support for those of you who are tuning in on our radio podcast everywhere. For those of you who have been tuning on our Facebook Watch channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. I did get a notice when I logged into our streaming platform that there are some hiccups with connecting via YouTube. So if you're not on the live and it's not working, then darn, make sure you maybe are connected again on a backup. We're on LinkedIn Live. We stream on LinkedIn. We streamed on Twitter. Again, we're streaming on Facebook. And I would really like I've been saying this for a long time, Instagram. It's just been really fun for a long time. Instagram has changed though, because I know people are doing the reels. Listen, that takes a lot of effort. So kudos to those of you who are doing reels. Y'all are the real MVP as we are talking about pre-gaming for your real estate year. Now, today's topic is for those of you who, again, are in the real estate business, you are looking to purchase, and what I share today in this message can be applied to anything. That's what I like. My husband and I attended a conference earlier, oh my gosh, it's October. I think it was October. And it was a conference for the legal arena. So for those legal professionals, and the speakers and the topics I felt were still applicable to what we do in business, to life, because it's just about, connecting. So I want to share a little bit more of my spin on that. I usually like to use football examples. So pregame, like I said, is on point. Let me toggle my screen here so I can share it with you. From beginning. Let's see, I gotta swap the screens. Very good. Ta-da! I've already seen a typo, but it's all good. It's all good. All right. Here we go. This is episode 185. It's supposed to be EP, not E9. Who knows? Who did this? Who put this slide together? Me. That's who. Me. Who put this thing together? That's my Al Pacino. What is that? Scarface. Scarface. Who put this thing together? Me. That's who. Yeah. So I have to take credit and the mistakes as well. Okay, so grab your notepad, pen, and paper. Essentially, what I'm sharing with you, because 2023 is going to be getting back to conference trainings and workshops. So what you hear today is kind of my pregame. It's kind of me just prepping you. If you're not able to attend, I trust that you'll be able to attend some of our trainings and workshops so you can get loved on. That's essentially what I'm here to do, is love on you. I want you to win. I want you to win. Like, yes, I want you to win. And I'm here for this. I'm here for the win. If you win, then we all win, right? You win, I win, we all win. I'm not like the, keep a secret type of person. If any of you who've attended some of my past trainings and workshops know, if you looked at my reviews and looked at the content and connected with anyone who's attended any of our live trainings and workshops, know that I give above and beyond because I want you to win. It's imperative that we are connecting in a way that we can really support people, that you as a person who is going through the real estate experience, that you're having a positive experience, because that only perpetuates the good, right? There's more people that will say, you know what, I didn't think that was possible. And, you were renting for 30 years and you worked as a nurse for the last 25 years, or you worked in the post office, and, you again, like my nurses, my postal workers, my mechanics. Oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm doing an announcement. Like, thank you all. Thank you all. Those who referred us business. And so what I'm sharing with you today is prepping for, what's your pregame? What is your pregame for next year as it relates to real estate? All right, cool. Let's jump in. Let's jump right in. All right. So are you ready? Pun intended. Are you ready? If not, make sure you get your Ready Set Real Estate gear and merch. Shout out to our team and those of you who are supporting with the real estate merch, Ready Set Real Estate. We'll have more, again, hoodies and jackets. I've got, like, this is a really light sweater with a hoodie that I really like, and it's just nicely here pressed on the pocket. I will actually give you guys the website because I haven't pumped it out, and honestly, because the trademarking world, like, woo, that's part of my real estate goals, is making sure we're right and tight before we really go, full throttle in this. And so I share that with you, is prepping, making sure you are doing what you're supposed to be doing. And you may say to me, Lisa, how do I know what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, let's talk about defining those goals, right? Defining those goals for yourself. I really, really appreciate that. There's a couple things that I've listened to and I've heard, and they're reminders. They're reminders. And so let's get back to this space and place. I get to share with you that I've been in the business for 16 years and counting. And the first part of the year was slow for me, slow to grow. And that's both personally and professionally. I had a challenge. I had challenges personally, and I had challenges professionally. Those two go hand in hand, as I've noticed. Anyone have noticed that? Yeah, drop a one in the comments if you know when shift happens, right? Ish happens. When you are going through some stuff, like that stuff will translate into, it'll show up in work. It'll show up in your working relationships. It'll show up in the quality of work that you're putting out. You will learn to do a couple things. Be a master of leading a double life. That was me. I became a master at leading a double life. But I will say to this, and those of you who are in my love circle know this and know this of my story and my experience. What it taught me is that the storm will settle, the storm calms. Let me bring my mic closer. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this. Come in closer. When it calms down, what are you left with? Right? Are you going to be left and turning around? Thank you. Bomo's like, yes, I'm with you. Stuff does happen. When you are left with the storm and it settles and it calms and you're like, oh man, what have I done? I've got more to clean up. I've got more to do. And I'm sharing with you that while you're in it, pick one thing that you say, even though I'm having this difficult time, even though business is slowing up, even though I'm not licensed yet, even though I haven't saved enough money, even though I haven't built up my credit score to be a 640, even though I'm not stable at my job, even though I have not been at this job for 6 months, even though I've had to start a new job, even though those external things are happening, pick one thing, just one, to focus on and execute and complete. Just one thing. What is it? I'm going to build my credit. I'm going to save $5,000. I'm going to commit to $10,000. I'm going to commit to blank. Drop that in your comments. Drop that in your notebook. I am going to commit. Love that word, commit, to blank. And then I'm in fact, I'm going to have you do this for me. So write, I'm going to commit, and fill in the blank. I'm going to commit. You can revisit this later. If you're catching us on the replay, #replay, you can come back to this. Think about it. Now, what I would like for you to do is activate that. How do we activate that in the present? How do we activate it? Because the subconscious mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality. Your subconscious mind does not know your credit score is what it is. Your subconscious mind does not know that you're not making X amount of money. Your subconscious mind does not know you're not at the dream job. Your subconscious mind does not know that you are not living in your dream home. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between fiction and reality. And Bomo, you're ahead of us. You got it. Commit to an increased credit score. Absolutely. I'll give you an added bonus. What is increase, right? Pick a number. Like for me, I'm back on losing weight. So I've been working out 4 times a week. Getting back to that, I feel now committed because I get upset or frustrated when I cannot commit to the workout schedule. My workout is now an appointment. It's always been an appointment on my calendar, but I've revisited that, right? Because I've had it, and now I'm like, boom. So my ideal weight for me is 143. So that's on my board. I weigh 143 pounds. Bo, what is the score, right? Not the increase, because the subconscious mind doesn't know what increase is. What is increase? So I commit. And that's what I wanted to share. So we're going to cross out, if you wrote, I'm going to commit, cross out going and put I commit, right? I commit. I commit to blank. So we'll rewrite that. Bo, commit to an increase. What is that, right? What is 680, 720? And then now we get to focus on that. Because here's the beautiful thing. When you are focusing on that and tunnel vision, the universe conspires to bring all the people, the tools, the money, the places, the things. Get it? The nouns. The universe conspires to bring the nouns to you, people, places, and things, to work with you to accomplish that goal. Here's why I say focus at one at a time, because you run the danger of sending mixed messages. Imagine, I want to go to Italy. No, never mind. I'm going to go to Belize. No, I changed my mind. I want to do Hawaii. The universe is like, what are we doing? Are we going to Italy, Belize, or Hawaii? Can't conspire to help you, right? Boom, Bo, got it. I commit to 700. Yes, we are with you. We are with you. And so it is. That's it. Like, just regardless of the work, regardless of what is the goal for you? And this is why I'm saying that although real estate is cyclical, that's external. That is external. What is going on internally? Because you are in command of your internal world that shows up in your outer world. One of the things I notice is that when I connect with people, and I do this intentionally, walk through life with making an intentional impact. Someone says to me, how are you doing today? Fantastic. I'm not responsible for the woes of the world. I'm not, and this is not that I'm saying I'm not empathetic. I know some issues happening, which is why we're talking about it. But my internal world, right? What I'm doing, what I'm focusing on is me controlling my outer experience. So now, those of you who've been tuning in to Shift Your Thinking, I'm bringing a little Shift Your Thinking in here because they are one and the same. Real estate and everything in real estate is just an external outer manifestation of someone's thought. That home was in someone's mind before it became a blueprint, before it became permitted, constructed, built. And I know this because my family members, I've watched, my pops bring in blueprints. I watched my brother bring in blueprints. I watched my husband bring in blueprints and plans and different things that they're reading. That someone drew that from here. And it became what we are seeing. And okay, you get it. All right. You feel me? I'm passionate about this today because someone needed to hear this. I'm a little bit passionate. Okay, let's go on. Bo, you still with me? So real estate is cyclical. Great. And as shift happens, and why I want to say real estate is cyclical, because this exciting market sellers experience, this historic market, it'll be back. We don't have a crystal ball. It will be back. Now we're shifting for those of you who are on the buy side or investing side and saying, you know what, now's the time. Yes. Now's the time for you to focus on what you need to do, because real estate is not a everybody do it all at once type of thing. It's when you're ready on your timing. Don't let anybody else's timing and experience become your timing and experience. It doesn't work like that. I have to say this because I looked at the numbers. I've looked at the data. Those of you who did real estate on someone else's timing are going to have a very difficult time in the next 13 months. You're going to have a challenge in the next 13 months, keeping your mortgage, keeping your job, keeping your sanity, keeping your health, because you did it on someone else's timing. I'm here to support you. I'm here to love on you. But if you did it on someone else's timing, that means it was not in alignment with what your internal goals, clock, spirit, right? The great spirit, whatever truth you subscribe to. It was not in alignment. And you run the risk of having to rebuild it from scratch because you didn't build it on foundation. I'm preaching to the choir to some, but I'm speaking from experience of a woman who has loved, lost, and experienced all trials and tribulations. And I smile now. I'm very happy now because I've learned to lose. I've learned what loss is. I've learned what winning is. I've learned to what not having money is, to what having money is. I've learned, I've experienced to having really crappy credit, to having great credit, to, been there, done that. How did I get through it? Focusing. While everything around me is like turning into a storm. Keep it G rated for my babies. My babies might be listening one day. While the storm is happening, the cycle is happening. How did I get through it? Some of you watched me pump out so much books, trainings. I did 1 year, I did 100 trainings. 1 year, 2019, before COVID, I did 100 trainings. How? Focus. Regardless of what's going on. Why? Because I was planting seeds. So I want you to write that down, right? I'm planting seeds. What seeds are you planting? If you're not planting anything, don't expect anything to grow. Some are going to survive, some will not. Some will be ready for the plucking and the harvest sooner than the rest. What are you planting? Oh, what are you planting for the 2023 harvest? Okay. What are you planting? I saw a meme that said, this meme was so funny. It said, me sitting at home, had this eating popcorn, me sitting at home looking at $7 million houses on Zillow with $35 saved in my bank account. So what are you planting for the 2023 harvest? You looking at $7 million homes with $35 saved in your bank account is not the planting, right? Is not what are you planting? It's great to vision. I'm not knocking that, right? Not knocking it. Again, it is what are you sharing and telling your subconscious mind about what kind of life reality you are co-creating for yourself. What are you designing? Shout out to those of you who are tuning in on ERGJ. My brother, my man. I went to Atlanta, we didn't get to connect, so I apologize. It was a very quick trip for this conference. I will be back though to my fellow Atlanta community. I will be back. Bo says, great question. Okay, what are you planting for the 2023 harvest? Can't collect if you haven't planted anything. So here's a couple things to keep in mind as you're moving forward. I want you to stay active. And what does that mean? Stay active means keep moving, keep practicing, keep training. Be intentional of your off season. Ooh, yes. Be intentional of your off season, meaning when are you going to take time to relax? When will you take a break? Right now, I'm executing like for the next 3 months. I'm in deep right now in my studies. And so as I'm executing every day towards the bigger goal, because I will easily be overwhelmed of the amount of work and hours that I have to execute by February 2023, I am doing them in daily increments. I set a timer and then I set a break to move away from the computer screen, right? Close my eyes, step away, give myself a break, that type of thing, right? Relax, because then you get fatigued with the eyes. So when's your off season? When are you taking a break? Be intentional. Be intentional. How about making your off season a reinforcer, a reward? Like the kids, we work out with the kids, and my husband asked, and they've asked me before, "Are you not bringing water?" And I said, "Water is a reward for me." I reinforce myself with water, meaning I've got to commit to running these laps, and when I'm done, then I drink water. I mean, I'm not running to exhaustion and to danger, but it's just something that I do for myself. Same here is we're talking about what are you planting? Create this little game. This is pre-game, right? We're in the practice. We're prepping. All right. So stay active, stay moving, be in the momentum. The up to date part, I've got it here, small here in this caption, understate active. The up to date means make sure you're checking in on your progress. Okay, today, what have I accomplished towards that goal? If I didn't do it or complete it, guess what? It shows up tomorrow. And you execute that, you work towards that. I think building credit is a fun game. It's a fun way to learn. Bo, I suggest you also check out their Experian. Oh, excuse me, no. Oh my gosh, you guys who were on the show last time, I talked about the website that gives you a whole free training on how to build and increase your credit, how to manage your money. And they give you a cool little certificate that you too can become like this certified credit expert. I think Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae. Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae has that. When I have a moment, I'll look it up and I might show it or send it. I'll drop it in the chat. All right. So at this time, a shift happens. What should we be doing with our money? I like this word, optimize your expenses. Optimize your expenses. What can you do without? Now, you notice I'm going to go here with this. I'm going to go here with this, right? So optimize your expenses. Notice that, definitely Netflix has changed the game for these platforms. And so now that, Disney's got their own Cinemax and HBO and Hulu and who else is out there? It's like all these channels, stars, all these channels now have their own subscription. Optimize your expenses, right? So you were playing, your Spectrum, Time Warner, cable, 156 a month, and then you jumped to streaming and said, "Well, I only need internet and I'll pay internet at $19.99, right? 19 bucks, 20 bucks for internet, and then I can stream Netflix for, I think it was $8 at a time, 9, now they're like 12. I hear they're reducing it as well because why? They're optimizing expenses. I want you to pay attention to what the big businesses are doing, right? I want you to pay attention to the surveys that you're getting. Aren't the surveys asking, how are things going for you? Uh, are you still spending as much as you were 6 months ago? Do you spend more or do you spend less than you did last year? Are you employed? Do you feel confident in our economy? Notice these surveys, like these little different platforms and emails and things that you subscribe to and experiencing are asking you because they are going to do what? Pre-game for 2023. They are pre-gaming and optimizing expenses, cutting workforce, right? Reducing their fees because we are transitioning to not an arena where there's a select few that is doing well. We are transitioning to an arena where there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a clear divide of the haves and the have-nots. That's it. There's no rich, there's no middle, there's no poor. It's you've got it or you don't. You either have it or you don't. So optimize your expenses. Get back into that. I share this from a real estate standpoint as a business owner and a real estate marketer. Is there are certain things that I am doubling down on. And here's why. Because a lot of the real estate professionals are going to be exiting this business. In fact, we saw during the pandemic, 50% of agents went unemployed. Some of them went to go look for jobs. Hey, do what you got to do. I get it. But what does that do for someone like me? That means that there is more opportunity. So, what are we doing in our marketing? We're going to optimize our expenses, cut where we can, tighten up where we can. But on marketing, because it is the bloodline of our business, we double down. So now we're doing our season holiday campaign, our season greetings. We're doing something creative. We're doing things to make sure we're still connecting with their community, connecting with our local folks, our local businesses. Still putting out the marketing of the properties and deals that we've closed, telling our story, telling how the clients have, what were they experiencing during times like this? How can we help? Got it? Optimize expenses. Good. And then I want you to add reconnect, reconnect, reconnect with those goals. It's easy to be sidetracked. You hear someone share about what they want to do, and then you're like, oh man, I wanted to do that too. And then your mind drifts, and now you're focusing on something else. Reconnect with the goals. There have been things that you have set forth to execute, 3 years ago. Some of you paused, took great pause during two pandemic period. I did not. I wasn't. My life was not dictated by the pandemic. I still had things to do. I still had business to do, deals to close, people to serve, people to meet, reconnect, doing it off the grid type stuff, right? As you've noticed, a lot of you probably would notice that my social media is not as active as it used to be, but two things I commit to is showing up here to the show. Like this is it for me. Wednesdays at 11 Pacific time, as long as I'm in good health and I'm available to connect, I'll be here. I'll be here. That reminded me, I didn't get to download the last week's episode onto the podcast. Oh, my bad. Will you forgive me? Yes, I'm forgiven. Thank you. Done. All right, let's move on to the next one. So I wanted to point out this to you. Oh, see, I'm not American football, but I wanted to point out. Let me do this real quick. Pen. There we go. Told you I was doing a football slide, but I don't want you distracted. Not talking about football. Talking about real estate. Okay, cool. Okay, so I want you to realize that not everyone is going to make it. And that's going to be okay. It has to be okay. It has to be okay. Failure is not a bad thing. Failing forward, all good. Why? Because as long as there's a lesson to be learned, you're in good hands. Now, I wanted to share this not to pick on these companies, but I wanted to highlight what have we learned from these companies. iBuyers. Some of you might be new to the term iBuyer. So these are tools. These are real estate companies that are using technology to essentially change the game. And yes, in my experience, and I've said this amongst my love circle and colleagues and professionals, and I've talked about this during our past trainings as iBuyers were appearing on the scene. In fact, they were appearing on the scene like in the last 6 years. They became, prevalent, and it became louder and louder. I recall doing a training in 2019, and I shared with my colleagues. I was doing a training for real estate professionals, and I said that, you've got to be careful with thinking that the iBuyer companies is your competition. Be careful with who you are claiming to be your competitor. I don't compete. That's not what I do. I don't compete. I'm very intentional on being distinguished in what I do. I'm very intentional on being specialized in what I do. I'm not here to do any and everything, although we can. That's the beautiful thing of focus, that you can focus on one niche, on one area, and the rest will follow. Certainly, that someone will have an experience with us, and they will refer us another client, another business, another opportunity, and we'll do that well. But here, I want to talk about um, how the iBuyers came into business, disrupted, and there's a couple things, right? And there's a couple factors that affected what happened here. And it was the attempt of replacing the agent experience. And really, I've said this before, the onus falls on us as a real estate professionals, is that we are not creating great experiences. We're not providing great services to the client's consumer. And so when you have companies seeing that there is a flaw here, they look into that as an opportunity to improve. And so this is what was born. And it was a business model that was born to make profit, and it worked well while the market was going up. And there were a couple of things that I noticed that happened during this time. As the market shifted, we started to see these business models crumble. And it's because there was that disconnect with the people and the community they service. So they were aiming to correct one experience, which was the agent experience, making it fast, simple, easy, right? They were attempting to correct that. But then at the same time, they didn't see what was happening as far as this phenomenon, this boom phenomenon. They didn't see what was happening with people. You're in the people business. The product, the property, right? The product, the house, the condo, the warehouse, the hotel, the retail office space, the farm. That's the product. The business is the people who you're servicing. And this is why I'm highlighting this, is you pregame for next year. Your network equals your net worth. Your network equals your net worth. Do not forget that you are in the people business. You're in the nouns, people, places, and things. You are servicing who? Unless you run a completely straight online business, then I get it that you think you are still just in products. But I think products are still designed to be experienced by whom? You guessed it, people, right? After you purchase a product online, what does it say? Can you tell us about your experience with this seller? Isn't that what they all ask you? Can you tell us about your experience with this seller? So for those of you who are tuning on the radio, I've got some screenshots here of some headlines that have been reported from the top part of 2022 to current. I'll read it for you. So February 13, 2022, there's a piece here in the National, and it says Zillow reports $880 million loss on failed home flipping business. The next one is November 2nd, 2022. Opendoor says it will cut 550 employees as the $1.5 billion home flipping company struggles to turn a profit. In fact, I was reading a little bit more about Opendoor, and they're just saying they're just going to take their losses, to shave it off, and just focus, right? Focus to keep the business afloat. And then the last one here is Redfin, November 14th, 2022. Redfin, Seattle-based real estate giant, shuts home flipping business, cuts 13% of workforce. Little caption here, it says, what is Redfin? Company known as an iBuyer which uses computer algorithms to purchase homes in bulk and then flip them. They weren't in the people business. So when you're not in the people business and you're selling a product to service the people, you become disconnected. You're disconnected with the price, you're disconnected with the product, you're disconnected with the improvements, the upgrades. Are you overdoing it for a particular area? Is it not enough for another area? Are you assuming, right? Are you assuming that what works for one local market works for a hypo market or a sub market? We've been talking about this throughout the show, right? That one block can be different from the rest of the city, and one city can be different from the rest of the county, and one county can be different from the rest of the state, and one state can be different from the rest of the national level. What are we learning from this about pre-gaming is know your market. You don't have to be any and everywhere. Know what you're focusing on, know what you're targeting. If you're looking to buy and you're focused on a certain pocket and you're within budgetary constraints or limits, it's okay to say, I'm going to start here, right? Let me look at this county and see what's available in that county. But if you're going to be gung ho and say, I want to live there, then that means, and it's not within the budget, that means that you should be focusing on what I shared in the beginning, is focusing on what? Increasing, improving the income, the credit score, the down payments. Anything's possible. I think I have a great story to share about a young couple who I worked with 2 years ago. When they came to me, their budget allowed for a condo. 430,000 2 years ago. Condo, they were okay with it. They knew they wouldn't get it. It would not get them a single family in their desired area, because those areas were selling for 700 and up at the time. Now they were going now, and then pandemic happened and it was like 800, 900 to $1 million. So as we're talking about what is it that you like to accomplish, execute, then focus. Here's what's interesting. Between the two of them, their desire for what they wanted for their family superseded what was happening in the external world. Why? Because they ended up receiving an inheritance that allowed them to purchase in an area that is selling for 800,000 to $1 million. And they ended up getting a $410,000 loan. 2 year. Anything's possible. Don't restrict the subconscious mind. Don't restrict what the universe wants to give you, gift you. Operate from the supernatural. Okay. Just, you got to get with the team that supports that. They constantly asked and checked on me. They said, are we your longest client? No, because I'm patient. I'm not a commission breath driven professional. Fortunately for me, I have a flow business that sustains me. Thankfully and fortunately for me. Why? Because of the things that I program, the things that I do. What I'm sharing with you today are the things that I incorporate in my life. I pay attention to what's going on around me, and what can I learn from this? What are we learning from this? What I shared with you about these particular companies might come out, it might bring out a different lesson. You might pick up a different lesson. I'm just showing with you about connecting when we get lost and we focus on profits over people. All right. How you feeling about that? Good. All right. So let me wrap this up here. Oh my gosh, I've gone 50 minutes. It's supposed to be 30 minutes. All right. Winning your way. Define what success means to you. My husband and I, we talked about this, and we're going to do this. In fact, I will do this. Make sure we do this week, because it's the holiday week. Kids are home and all that fun stuff. And it's a great time as we we're in fourth quarter. Define what success means to you. What is success? Oh, in fact, we did do this. I do recall this. So defining success, winning your way. That's it. What is winning your way? What does success look to you? What does winning look to you? I love that my husband said, he said, looking at you, He said most people would like die to have your weight, right? Like there are people that want to be your weight and whatnot. I'm just using this as an example because it's a personal goal of mine. And I said, yeah. However, for my body and for what I'm used to, this is not what I'm used to. Right. So I've defined what success for me, what winning my way looks like. And it's not so much about the weight, it's more so about getting back to being active, getting back to the workout. So that's for me, that's winning. That if I can do what I do throughout the day and make sure I'm taking time. And listen, I implore, take time for you. And it may not be working out. It may not be, it might be just reading a book. It might just be sitting quietly in your space for 20 minutes, listening to brain frequency, meditation, listening to, a particular song. Right now, I've gotten back to classical music. Reconnecting and defining. You hear that? Bo, appreciate you. Being in a position to help others. Defining what success means to you. And with that, I think I'm going to end there right there. Bo, I really want to thank you for your support. So I will give you an option for a Ready, Set, Real Estate cap or the 15-ounce mug. I want to gift this to you for your involved in your engagement on the show. I encourage engagement because that's when you learn. That's when you remember. And so I do have some classics. The Ready, Set, Real Estate hat is available. Got some tees and merch. But I will give you an option of a cap if you're a hat wearer, a visor wearer, or a 15-ounce mug for the Ready, Set, Real Estate show. Make sure you send me a DM. We'll ship that directly to you. And thank you again for your support. This is good stuff. It's great stuff. Pre-game your real estate year. There are things that need to be done. Down payments, FICOs, income, doing your tax returns. If you're going to do stated incomes, then talking with the lender, like there's to-dos involved with that. And it's learning. It's like tuning into shows like this so you can get that information so that you can connect with people that can support those real estate goals for the year. With that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a powerful and productive week. We'll see you next week on another information-packed episode on Ready, Set, Real Estate. Bye.